How to start calisthenics over 40, coming up. Crew members, welcome back to the channel, my friends. How are you doing today? If this is your first time here on this channel, then make sure you subscribe to the channel now and turn on post notifications, because if you're new to bodyweight training calisthenics, then this is your home of bodyweight strength training, so make sure you hit that button and turn on that bell so you don't miss a single video. Right, so a question I typically get asked, particularly as the title suggests, those who get towards their late 30s, their 40s, maybe even going a little over 50, is Jake, is calisthenics really right for me? Because there's many ways you can approach calisthenics, and obviously when you actually approach calisthenics in a way in which best suits your goals and needs for your general lifestyle and just genuinely improving your health and fitness and well-being, calisthenics is going to be perfect for you. One, because of course bodyweight training requires minimal equipment, meaning you can do it in the comfort of your own home. So if you have a busy working life, let's say as a busy work professional, let's say you start work early in the morning, come back late at night, there will always be some time to fit in a bodyweight workout in the comfort of your own home, right? Bodyweight exercises increase your strength, mobility and flexibility at the same time, and not to mention, of course, bodyweight workouts do actually burn quite a lot of calories, and with the immense core stability that's required, combine it with a good nutrition plan, that stubborn belly fat that you may be having or may have wanted to lose for so long will be gone sooner than you can imagine. So if you've got a stronger core, your posture is going to improve. All that back pain you may be incurring, that's going to be gone, my friends. So ultimately, when you approach calisthenics for your goals and needs, then every area of your life is going to improve. You're going to have more energy, more productivity, and naturally, you're just going to feel awesome in your own skin once again. So again, as I said, you just got to make sure that you're following the right approach for you, my friends. So I'm going to split this for you into 4 key categories, because when you're starting calisthenics over 40, there's 4 main things you want to consider. And make sure you watch until the very end, because number 4 is crucial. Right, so starting out with number 1, one thing I really want to emphasize for you, my friend, is taking care of your joints plus tendons, because ultimately your joints and tendons take longer to recover and heal after workouts relative to your muscles. So if you try and do too much too soon, even if your muscles can withstand the pressure, if your joints or your tendons simply cannot recover in that space of time, that's how a lot of guys over 40 run themselves into injuries, which they really could have avoided if they just had the right approach, right? So we can minimize this to keep our joints, tendons and connective tissue healthy by, first of all, making sure we do a thorough warm up. I'm talking, let's say 10 to 15 minutes, really making sure that you get some blood flow going, so that ultimately when you go into your workout, you can really push yourself as hard as you can without having any restrictions in your mobility or setting yourself up for injury. And in fact, I made a video on this channel on how to warm up for calisthenics, which you can check out right here, so you can do that before your workouts. Another thing to consider is your rep tempo, because rep tempo, being how we perform the exercise, right, can really impact what we can gain from that exercise, particularly if we want to take care of our tendons over 40. One great way is to emphasize the eccentric of the exercise, which is the lowering down phase, and I think that one way that really helps with that is 3 seconds down and then 1 second up. And again, there's no need to discriminate yourself with like, I'm over 40 so I need to do this or that. This concept of really taking care of your tendons applies to an 18-year-old the same as it applies to a 48-year-old, you know what I mean? And then lastly, one thing you may want to consider is higher reps, because higher reps, again, it's great at start to actually build some endurance and work capacity, so you can take care of your joints, your tendons and your connective tissue, so that they can actually withstand the pressure with your muscles as you get stronger over time. So with high reps, you may want to start out with 10 to 15 reps, maybe even up to 20. Make sense? Awesome, sweet. So the next point I want to go through with you is mobility. So mobility is simply our ability to move at a joint. If you have any deficiencies in your posture and you have a traditional 9 to 5 desk job, then it's not your fault if you have any restrictions in your shoulder mobility, hip mobility, etc. But what's important is that we can still address this, and bodyweight training again is amazing for this, because you can build muscle and flexibility around your joints at the same time. So ultimately with mobility, a properly structured strength program can actually, or should actually, improve your mobility at the same time. So if we do any hanging overhead, like chin-ups or pull-ups, then that is simultaneously going to increase our overhead and shoulder mobility, right? with the likes of push-ups, we can improve our shoulder extension. And when we do deep squats and unilateral squats and such, we're also going to improve our ankle and hip mobility at the same time. And then not to mention, of course, the right core exercise will also really help with not only tightening up that midsection, but also relieving that lower back pain if that's something you've been struggling with. You know, as I've had most of my clients, regardless of their age, that, you know, doing some general mobility outside of your training can also be certainly beneficial, as well as your strength training to improve mobility at the same time. You can also do mobility outside of your training. Let's say you do a bit every morning or just a few times in a week. In fact, I've got a follow along mobility routine that you can actually follow yourself in this card right here, so you can erase those chronic pains and aches you may be having once and for all. Now the third point, recovery, because I can understand if, let's say, you haven't worked out much over the years, and then let's say you're 40 or 50 and you're just so pumped to start working out again when you start actually seeing results. Maybe your pants are feeling a little bit looser, so we can have that tendency to then push harder to get more results, which is great, my friend. But obviously we have to understand that the growth, the muscle building, the fat burning happens during recovery. And again, if we do too much too soon and our tendons and joints just simply cannot actually recover or withstand the load we're placing on them, then that's where we can, you know, get aches and pains that will then hinder our progress to build a body we're proud of. And what I recommend to optimize your recovery is, of course, sleep. So I'm talking 7 to 9 hours a night. Full body workouts just 3 times a week, so you have plenty of time to rest. And then also you may want to consider active recovery, which kind of ties in to mobility. You may want to do some mobility on rest days. You may want to do light walks, right? Ultimately, so that you can focus on healing your body rather than just battering it down, and not actually repairing it to any extent whatsoever. Do you see how important recovery is now for your progress, my friend? Now, lastly, number 4, which doesn't really tie into any direct work, but ultimately that there is no limits in your progress. But if you do your due diligence in the calisthenics community, you'll realize, you know, one of my friends, Matt Schifferle, who is not one of the youngest in the community, but he's also one of the strongest, right? The Cavadlo brothers, Al Cavadlo, Danny Cavadlo, Ryan Hurst from GMB Fitness, Marcus Bondi, or even as one of my first clients, Ed Bowser, who is 39 years young, but he can pistol squat on each leg without any problems whatsoever in his suit at work. So always remember, my friend, there's no limits to your potential. You can really build a body you're proud of by simply switching your belief system and realizing that you are truly capable of achieving the results that you desire. And so that said, if you apply all these 4 tips, you'll understand that regardless of your age, you really can start calisthenics, build muscle around a busy schedule, lose stubborn fat to the point where you may even have to get a new belt or pair of pants, which of course is a good problem, and ultimately feel young, flexible, and have complete freedom in your own body again as you move, which is pretty cool, right? So if you enjoyed this video and you like my content, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below that this video came in good hand to you. And especially, my friend, if you're watching this video over 40, then mark the date of the 9th of September, Monday 2019, because I'm gathering together a secret project that will show you how to lose 15+ pounds of fat in the comfort of your own home, even if you are over 40 and don't have time to go to the gym. Monday the 9th of September 2019, my friend, 7 p.m. GMT time. You are not going to want to miss this, right? So again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, my friend. And as a crew member of the Gain Straight Express, keep moving forward.